talk about that later on.
Oh.
You've got a fan base here, then.
The hype train has left the station.
How old did you say this was?
12 years.
12 years, yeah.
Man, it is good. We just threw all of that on the floor, and this man has no regard for safety. He is not wearing shoes. He could go down while using it.
And John's dead. Wow. That didn't take long at all, but I'm sure he'll come back. Man, that intro gets me every time. Good to see you, everybody. Thanks for joining us. It is another Tuesday, which means it's time for Weekly Whiskey. John, thanks for joining me. John is of the Bourbon Finder. If you're looking for bourbon news and articles, check him out along with reviews. I am Jay from whiskeyraiders.com. We are the Rotten Tomatoes of whiskey. If you're looking for reviews, information, articles, comparisons, go ahead and stop on over and find us at whiskeyraiders.com. Go ahead and let us know if you guys are drinking anything good in the chat tonight. It's great to see all of you who have stopped by to join us. We have a really great segment this evening. We are looking dapper as always. John convinced me to wear a collared shirt for not 1, but 2 weeks in a row. So we're turning over a new leaf. I mean, I'm a year late, but not $1 short. So it's a good time ahead. Let's dive in. We have a ton of our bourbon barrel news. It's been a crazy week. The Russell's Reserve has sold out. The New Riff has sold out. The Knob Creek has sold out. And I'm happy to let you guys know that on February 8th, we will be launching the Whistle Pig 15.5-year Whistle Missile Rye single barrel. That one I am super pumped about. We have gotten authorization. We're going to do a Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels single barrel proof is happening as well for our bourbon. On top of that, I have renewed. We'll do another New Riff, another Knob Creek. And the Elijah Craig we did was bottled in record time. So I think next week or the week after that will go on for sale. And then we'll get started on 2021's barrels. I got a lot of really cool stuff happening. But without any further ado, that wraps up the news. How are you, John? Good to see you.
Doing good. Good to see you as well. I like the fact that you're actually stepping up your shirt game a little bit. Looks good on you.
I'm doing my best, man. This is actually one of my favorite shirts. I bought it at Fon Mar here in Wisconsin, and they make a fantastic shirt. Big fan.
To everybody out there watching, our little backstage joke is always that I tell Jay he looks like Butcher from The Boys. He's
You're
like
not wrong.
a little mini Butcher. So the better we can get him dressing, well, I mean, overall, I think we're just going to win. Looks like buddy Chad here is rocking a jacket, but no pants. They are, in fact, optional.
Yes, absolutely. I don't think pants have ever been worn during the filming of Weekly Whiskey, in fact.
No, it was right in the initial contract with YouTube. They said you do not have to wear pants.
And we took that one. We took that one all the way to the bank. No pants here. But we are thankful to be joined by a great guest tonight for something we are both super passionate about. We are joined by Bourbon Charity this evening, which I'm super pumped about. Brandon, how are you now?
Doing amazing. How you guys doing?
We are doing great. Thanks for joining us. It's good to see you.
Great to be here. I wish I had a blazer on or something to be here.
We will get you back on a second time, and we'll let you know about the blazers. You can suit up and come on right back.
Definitely. Give me the memo next time.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's great to see you. Brandon is a part of, you'll never be able to unsee Butcher. Brandon's a part of
mini Butcher.
Brandon's a part of Bourbon Charity. They are heating up. They had an incredible first year, and you guys have some really cool stuff on the horizon. So why don't you, what's Bourbon Charity about? For those that in the audience that may be living under a rock, why don't you go ahead and clue us in a little bit to what Bourbon Charity is all about, and then we'll start talking about you.
Yeah, well, Bourbon Charity is basically the greatest nonprofit that if you've never heard of it. So basically we give out rare and allocated bourbon in a sweepstakes for your opportunity to win. And donations go to amazing causes. Like right now we have our Valentine's Day fundraiser, Roses for Kids going on right now, supporting 5 different children's organizations. We have St. Jude Children's Tumor Foundation. We have 3 children's hospitals, the Phoenix Children's Hospital, Texas Children's Hospital, Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. So we just do a bunch of fundraisers throughout the year to raise money for a lot of important causes. And that's what we're all about.
Man, that is super cool. Admittedly, it had never occurred to me to combine bourbon and charity, but I love it. Like, I mean, I buy into bottles and stuff at other charity events, but like a charity that's just focused on rare bourbon and getting those proceeds to where it matters is super cool.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's definitely a marketing play. I mean, if you're looking to raise money for a certain nonprofit and bourbon's your medium to do so, like it makes sense. Why don't we just go straight through the actual source that represents the community in order to raise these funds, instead of, oh, like, hey, we're a nonprofit, we have some bourbon lovers, let's raise some money. Let's go straight to the bourbon lovers and see how much good we can do together as a community.
Man, that's really cool. So how did Bourbon Charity come to be? Obviously, one day you had a great idea and it spawned in, but walk us through a little bit of how you guys went from nothing to Bourbon Charity.
Yeah, it's kind of like what you said. It's like, I never really thought about, charity and bourbon being combined. And then, one day I was playing ping pong at my office and I had a nice collection. I'm from Kentuckiana, originally moved out to Phoenix and started my career out here. But I was just playing ping pong one day and then just like, you know what? My dad had prostate cancer. I wanted to make a difference and spend some time to give back. And I was like, you know what? I bet there's other people out there that are like me that love bourbon and love charity. And if we could combine the two in a way that bridges that gap where, hey, I might get that bottle of Pappy, but yet, hey, I'm giving back to a children's hospital or something like that. So really creating that win-win and creating a community that really had that support was kind of the initial push. And once I did the initial fundraiser, we raised like $75,000 or Father's Day of 2019. So I was like, this is something I should, put more time, effort, and resources into and really develop it. And it's just kind of snowballed into, here we're not even 2 years old, going on $1 million raised. We have 4 water projects going on over in Africa. We have a children's community hospital that we're putting in kiosks for gaming in the lounges. We're putting in a food kitchen for Dare to Care Food Bank. We're putting in a teen center for Boys and Girls Club. So just so much has happened in the last year and 9 months that it's great to see the community, the bourbon community, really rally around this cause and really drink for a change, which is kind of what we're all about.
That's awesome. I mean, holy shit. Yeah. Less than 2 years and $1 million in, like that is far from nothing to sneeze at. That's incredible.
So let's talk about the bottles for a minute. How do you guys end up sourcing these massive sweepstakes that you do? And, where's the creation to put these together? What's the background on that?
Yeah, so that's one thing that we're heavily focused on here in year 2 is really focus on our acquisition of bottle costs and trying to get that a lot cheaper. Unfortunately, I don't have, the head Buffalo Trace in my Rolodex. I don't have Pappy Van Cole on speed dial. I don't have these connections where it'd be great to get some of these bottles at retail. Unfortunately, we have to go through a online retailer, but we're paying secondary pricing for it. So once we can get that cost, we look at it from a business standpoint. It's like, okay, we can spend anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000 in bottle costs for a fundraiser, but we can sit there and turn around and do 10, 12x with that. We can raise 100 to 125 grand with that $10,000 purchase. So we know it's something we want to focus on is developing those relationships with the retailers, distributors / distillers that where we can get the bottles that everyone wants at MSRP. But right now we're just not there yet. But I think in the near future we'll be there where we can get better cost savings on some of the inventory that we do for prizes.
Interesting. That's that's actually a question that's always lodged in my mind as well, wondering whether you guys paid retail or secondary or something in between. Yeah. I'm super curious about Four Roses for Kids. So I noticed that Wild Turkey is a sponsor for that. How that seems like a golden opportunity for Four Roses. What happened there?
We're just not there as an organization. Like I said, we're new, we're fresh. Like, this is, you guys are in the industry. This is an old boys handshake, like my grandfather's industry. Like, we know in order to make those relationships where we can go up to Four Roses and be, hey, like, this is who we are. This is what we're doing. Hey, can you throw in this and that? And we know we'll get there, but we also recognize that, hey, this is the industry and we've got to earn our stripes and we'll get there eventually.
Okay. That's a very, yeah. I mean, it's clear that you know what you're talking about. Like, that's very much how the industry works. So I'm confident you guys will get there. You guys will get, maybe 2022 will be the year of Four Roses for Kids, sponsored by Four Roses, which I'll have to talk to them and be like, hey guys, you missed out.
There you go. You know, there's this big fundraiser going on.
Yeah. It's an easy target for you guys.
Yeah.
It is a very easy target. And so that was our target last year. They didn't really bite on it. So this year, you know, Wild Turkey has been a supporter, and they were like, hey, you know, if there's ever an opportunity to sponsor something, we're like, yeah, we're you know, we don't discriminate whether it's one distillery or next, one state or the next. It's like, hey, if you're in for helping other nonprofits, we're game to collaborate with you.
That is super cool. So on average a year, I know you guys have, your calendar is really popping off this year. How many events did you guys do last year, and how many are you planning to do this year? Are you guys really scaling up?
Yeah, so probably last year we did around 10 different events, and it was really weird. Of course, it was a COVID year. You know, we didn't know, you know, really what was going to happen rolling into it, because we thought a lot of our donor base was in the hospitality and food industry. So when we did our Father's Day fundraiser in 2020, we were kind of thinking we'd have a drop off from the 75,000 we raised the first year. We ended up raising 128,000 or something like that. So there's definitely demand for it. We do 5 main fundraisers per year: Valentine's Day, the Bourbon Derby, first Saturday in May, the Father's Day, then we do a Labor Day, and then a Thanksgiving fundraiser. So 5 main fundraisers, and then we do pop-up fundraisers if something happens. Like last year we had the Australian bushfires broke out, and we're like, you know what? Let's let people donate, and we'll donate money to Wildlife Victoria, help out the koalas, the kangaroos. Yeah. We'll also help out the firefighters there. So it was just something that just came up. We're like, hey, it's a pop-up fundraiser. One week we raised 30 grand, and we supported what was going on over there in Australia. So that'll happen. We do bingo nights every once in a while. So I would think anywhere from 10 to 15 real bigger events this year for 2021.
Wow. Yeah. That's really impressive. That's super cool.
The pop-up stuff you're doing, is that kind of dovetail into the Bourbon Hood that you guys launched just this past year, or?
No, not really. Bourbon Hood was, it's been my goal from when I started this charity, is to become 100% public donation charity. And it's a very, very challenging goal that very few nonprofits can achieve. I modeled it after Charity Water, who Scott Harrison, his book Thirst is amazing. If you ever get Audible or you want to sit down and flip the pages on that book, but it's just great how he started this Charity Water, and every dollar you donated to a water project in Africa was dollar for dollar going to that water project. They had supported the overhead, the operation costs, the legal costs, the marketing, the advertising, everything it costs to run a business was paid for by private sponsors. And so that's essentially what Bourbon Hood is for Bourbon Charity. There are donors that know, hey, it costs money to operate as the nonprofit. So they contribute monthly anywhere from $10 to $100 a month. We have, we launched this like 9-10 months ago during the heart of COVID. I think we're up to 480 Bourbon Hood members, which is quite impressive. And it's awesome. And right now we're at 92% of public donation charity. Our magic number is kind of get the 700 Bourbon Hood members. And then, yeah, we want to obviously decrease the cost of our inventory. So once we start working on the Buffalo Trace, again, that Pappy and the Bourbon Hood, we're easily going to be 100% public donation charity. So you give us, you know, $50, we give $50 to Dare to Care Food Bank or Boys and Girls Club. So it's just a pass through based on Bourbon Hood members.
Wow, that's really impressive. That's a good goal too. Like that 100% pass through is really incredible. Do you guys do like single barrel selections at all? Do you guys sell barrels for charity as well as some of these lauded bottles? Yeah, so that's one of the perks for being a Bourbon Hood member. You get, you know, entries into our fundraisers that we do. You get an awesome Glencairn, a sweet koozie. You get little perks like, hey, we're doing this barrel pick. You get first right to purchase it. We even have the opportunity with when we're doing the barrel picks,
if it's samples being mailed by the distillery, then they get to participate in that. So we really are focused on giving back to the Bourbon Hood, because that's who gives back to us and make us function. So there's a lot of perks like that, like the single barrel program that you speak of, that we're rolling out the kind of the red carpet for the Hood members.
Wow, that's really cool. So how big, obviously there's a ton going on here. How big is the Bourbon Charity organization? Is it you and a buddy? Are you guys big and sprawling? Tell me a little bit about the org structure here.
We have a board of directors, and we have a good base in Arizona, where we were actually able to build really well with a Facebook group out here and members of that Facebook group. We're about 8,000, 9,000 unique donors. So, which is actually very fascinating. You think like we've raised approximately $1 million, and like we have 8,000 to 9,000 unique donors. So our donor base gives a lot. I don't know what that is on average per donor, but our donor base is strong. It's growing. I mean, I think we started 2020 at maybe 3,000 donors. We're up to 8,000 or 9,000. So yeah, it's definitely growing and growing fast.
Wow.
That's great, man.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, really, it shows how bourbon folks give a shit. You know, like we care about the whiskey, we care about where the money goes, and it really comes full circle on events like this.
Doing some really quick napkin math, that's about $112 to $120 per person, which is really good for, you know, I wonder, you know, I kind of assumed that there was a bunch of people that gave like the legal minimum just to get like pappy rights, right? But I mean, $100 plus per person is crazy. That's phenomenal.
Which is cool is that we start out like, so it's a $10 donation to get into our sweepstakes fundraisers that we do. So like, I've even seen the $10 donors win the pappy and some of the cool prizes. So it's really cool whether you have $10 to give or $1,000 to give. Like, it all adds up. It all makes a difference.
Wow, that's really cool.
Let's talk a little bit about the structure here briefly. We had a question come in through the chat. Are you a 501c3, and can you accept in-kind donations and bottles and give gift receipts?
Yes, we can. We can do in-kind donations. We try to mostly focus those in-kind donations from distilleries or licensed retailers. We want to make sure, obviously, that you know, nowadays with how expensive these bottles are, we want to make sure we're getting it from the source that's reliable. So we try really hard to validate our in-kind donations.
It makes sense.
Yeah, don't want to be giving away any fakes now.
Just scooped up another donation there as we chat. That's good.
That's great. So we've been talking a lot about like the how. If someone wanted to either join Bourbon Hood, if they wanted to make a donation, what's the best way for them to find you guys and kind of, you know, hit that home run? What's the best way for they to find that access?
Yeah, I'd say just check us out on social channels like Facebook, Charity, obviously BourbonCharity.org. And you know, you can donate or sign up for be a Hood member there. If you hit our main website, you'll see the Valentine's Day Roses for Kids Fundraiser. You can get involved in that. We have, like I said, some awesome bourbon that we're giving away. We have a PS5, an Oculus, an Xbox. So we have different gaming systems. So
that price package is insane.
Outside of bourbon, and you know, we have a lot of different plans to add some different spice and variety here and there to the charity. So it's not just the pappy every time or some of the allocated bourbon. It's a little something else too.
I like the diversity. Like that hits on, you know, all you need now is to like throw in like a smoker or a grill or two, and you have like the holy grail.
Yeah, we have Yeti, a big Yeti.
Oh yeah, I saw the last Yeti
one, and we have sports memorabilia. Who wouldn't want a Kobe jersey? I mean,
yeah,
right.
Well, seriously, or you know, I don't know, like a baseball bat signed by, you know, the Cardinals or the Cubs, or I don't know, something that just is different to add in with the bourbon to make it a little different than kind of normal.
Oh, totally. That's cool shit. I like it. So obviously you guys have done a bunch of these. What has been your favorite so far? Has there been a particular event that you loved more than the rest for any particular reason?
I mean, the first one obviously was awesome because, you know, you don't know what you have until the market responds to you. So that one was pretty awesome to see that, hey, there's a lot of other people like us that are like, Bourbon Charity is a cool thing. But like the last fundraiser, not the last one we did, second to last one we did was our bourbon giving fundraiser over Thanksgiving. And we ended at like $98,000, like $300 or something, like just short of $100,000, you know? So like woke up the next day, I was like, damn, we were close, you know, we're close to 6 digits, you know, it was very good. Like it was way better than I thought we'd do. And I started getting notifications that donations were coming in. I'm like, this can't happen. Like it's shut off. Like people can't get tickets to our fundraiser. Like, so why are people donating? It makes no sense. So got into the office and I'm starting looking, I'm like, yeah, they're all coming in. I jumped on Facebook and realized that our Hood members, one of them or two of them or a couple of them had started like, hey, Hood, we're not done members. We got to get to 100,000. So it's like $30 here, $40 there, $20 here. And it's
Nice.
true that we got to 100,000, but it was all just like kind of that organic, like just, we're going to get this done, guys. And that was probably the most special morning I've had being part of the charity.
Man, that's incredible. It is really cool to see the whiskey community come together in so many positive ways. I'm constantly surprised by it. What is the, oh no, up there. Okay, there you are.
No, we're good. We're good.
What's the biggest challenge you've encountered with Bourbon Charity?
You know, I think just sourcing bottles at MSRP and just trying to get the inventory we need to raise money at, you know, the right cost. I mean, that's the biggest, you know, hang up to us being 100% charity. And actually I thought, you know, it's one of those things you're like, oh, we're a charity, like hook us up. Like we don't mind paying like secondary or not like above retail, but not like crazy high, but still it's hard to get those hookups, even if you're a nonprofit. So it's just like, those don't come easy. And I think just knowing that we have to get it from the source is kind of the biggest wake up is like, okay, we thought we could get it through the retailers. We thought we maybe could get the distributors, but I think, you know, it's going to come back to going straight to the horse's mouth to try to source these at the right prices.
Interesting. Okay. I kind of wondered, like, you know, you guys routinely have just like crazy packages, and like, I wondered if that was a tough thing to get through, but it sounds like
it's tough for anyone. I mean, inventory, you know, like I think we paid, we bought 2 Pappy 15s and a Pappy 20 the other day. And it was like over $7,000.
Man.
Yowza.
Think if we were paying, you know, the $500 or $600 that we should have been paying instead of, you know, seven large.
Yeah, that's an extra $5,000
that's a
and
lot
change.
of extra money that can go to the charities that we're supporting. So that's our main focus. We'll get there. Like I said, it's hard to, you get lost in like, oh man, we should be there. We should be there. You step back. It's like, okay, we're not even 2 years old yet. We'll get there.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, this is all a trajectory, right? Like, even John and I talk like, you know, hey man, look where we were a year ago with Weekly Whiskey. Like, look how far we've come. Like, only a year. It's just the beginning. I'm confident that you guys are experiencing the same. Like, 2 years is nothing in the timeline of life. And, you know, in a couple of years, I can see Buffalo Trace just dropping a box off at the office and saying Heidi Ho. And, you know,
yeah.
Hi from Pappy.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll lean on them a little bit. We'll tell them like, hey,
there you go.
You should get some work done, guys.
Along the thread of trying to maximize what you guys are getting out of the return, the donations and all that, DJ wanted to check in and just say, could a winner opt to return the winnings back in for a future fundraiser? So, I mean, if some crazy individual won that OFC package. I think we lost you.
Absolutely, yeah. We've had it happen before.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, good. Cool.
Yeah, so we've had it happen before. Yeah, you can do whatever you want with it. Once it's yours, you can donate it back. You can give it to a friend. You can do whatever you want. So yeah, absolutely.
Very cool.
Okay, cool. So it's not a hypothetical. It's actually happened. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, pay it forward for sure.
Man, well, that is great.
Just get a new Hood member too.
Excellent. Yes, everybody. If you aren't Hood members, go and become one. It's totally fulfilling. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah, I jumped
Yeah.
on that the first time I saw it, which I don't remember if it was right when it launched or if it was like the next month. But as soon as I saw that come up, and I was like, oh, that's perfect. That makes it way easier to always get into all of the sweepstakes too, because half the time, if I'm not paying attention to when they pop up, I miss them.
Exactly. And that was the whole point, is like, let's do something monthly where, hey, you're going to get action into all the fundraisers. You're going to get some little perks here and there. And it's like, it's on autopilot. It's like, hey, I know I'm doing good. I know I might have a chance. And it just, like you said, it's a win-win all the way around.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's cool. I love it. Well, hopefully, I dug into the good stuff for tonight. You guys have been releasing some crazy stuff. So I dug into an old Pappy Van Winkle 15 that I kind of keep around. So hopefully everyone who's watching here tonight will go and join so they can win their own Pappy Van Winkle, since it sounds like you've just picked some up, which I think is cool. Where do we go? If you're looking for him, go to BourbonCharity.org. There we go. John with the handy banners. That's fantastic.
Getting it going.
Yeah. We're coming up on our half an hour here, but Brandon, it has been awesome to have you. Once again, go ahead and let us know. So for everyone who's tuned in, if they want to join Bourbon Charity, where can they find you on social? Tell us, give us a 30-second teaser on 4 Roses for Kids coming up, and we'll send people off so they can go find your site and donate. Yeah, definitely. Check us out on social at Bourbon Charity, Facebook, Instagram. We have our Roses for Kids fundraiser coming up here on Valentine's Day. You can find that by going to bourboncharity.org. You can sign up to be a Hood member at BourbonHood.org. We'd love to have you drink for a change with us and continue to do amazing things for this community and be part of our journey. Awesome. Great. So everyone, you've got it like 3 times now. So if you come and ask me one more time, I'm just going to send you this video.
We can't help you win, Pappy, any better than we already have here.
I love it. What do you got for me, John?
That's about it that I've got for you here. I mean, let's close this thing out. We'll send everybody home. Hopefully, I don't know if anybody else is getting into the wild turkey tonight. I figured go with the theme of the sponsor.
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing the revered rye.
I like it.
Super good.
I know DJ's drinking turkey, so we don't have to worry about that. If you're looking for more from me, I'm John. You can find me at thebourbonfinder.com or on social at thebourbonfinder. And I'll hand it over to you, Jay, and we'll close this thing right out. Yeah. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us for another weekly whiskey on Tuesday. We're thankful that you suited up and joined us here tonight. Brandon, again, thank you so much for your time. It's so cool to hear about something that's unique and also giving back in the bourbon community. I am Jay at whiskeyraiders.com. If you're looking for news, information, rankings, and reviews, hop on over. We've got all the industry news. We're your one-stop shop. I'm at Whiskey Raiders on Instagram and whiskeyraiders.com. Once again, find Brandon at bourboncharity.org, bourboonhood.org as well. Find them on Instagram. And thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll cheers, and we'll see you in the green room, Brandon. We'll share a drink and chat a little more. Good. See you guys. Cheers. Cheers.